So today, my group and I will be discussing in what ways this digital technology is influencing higher education and how that could change in the next 5 to 10 years. The two aspects we'll be talking about in this presentation is the assessment and feedback and the delivery of content. We'll talk about both the positive and negative notions and the potential of what it could actually bring to us in the future. Additionally, we'll also be talking about what concepts could contribute to this change and how they could further impact the effects of digital technology. These include the fourth industrial revolution, the working from home, and the digitalization of operations. Each of these ideas could contribute to how higher education will differ from today, including the new and upcoming technology that will be accessible by a vast majority across the world. And now I'm going to hand over to Josh, who will talk you through the delivery of content.
An advantage of delivery of content is that there's increased flexibility and learning is self-paced. There are not many people that can devote full time to a graduate program, and many people travel for work. An online program provides flexibility for those who must juggle working and returning to school, enabling them to stay employed while learning and developing their careers. With an online master's degree, you can log on when it's convenient for you, instead of leaving work early or missing family dinners to commute to campus. You are learning at your own pace. The flexibility of graduate school allows you to balance work life and graduate school more easily. Additionally, students are not always comfortable asking professors to repeat what they said in a lecture or address a particular issue in greater detail. Using online learning, you can revisit past material and pause a lecture to perform additional research and organize notes. You can move through the lesson at your own pace, ensure you understand the content before moving on. With this flexibility, students can look through their coursework at their own pace and graduate and get the most out of their degree program. Another benefit of delivery content is that it can help expand your global professional network. While on-campus learning limits your options for teachers and peers to those on your campus, online learning allows you to connect with people from all over the world. As a result, online learning gives you access to a far bigger and more diverse spectrum of ideas and viewpoints from creative professionals all over the world, enriching the learning experience while also growing a worldwide professional network. I'll now hand it over to Nikki, who will be talking about the disadvantages of delivery of content.
Although we previously mentioned that delivery of content through the use of technology has many benefits and advantages, students will still encounter several challenges which could hinder their education. One of the major disadvantages at the moment is the remoteness and absence of personalized teaching. Make some students feel distance, resulting to a lack of student engagement and interaction. A study in 2015 by Krugel and Abadi has proven that some e-learning results were being less effective due to a lack of face-to-face encounter with the teachers. Another disadvantage that could be quite detrimental to the education of students if everything is going digitalized. It's a newly given freedom and flexibility. When attending the institution, a schedule creates discipline that makes sure that the students follows their way and does not fall behind. However, especially when working from home, a lack of schedule could really hinder someone who lacks self-discipline and constantly get distracted from their work. High chances of schedule slippage due to adaptation of online learning methodology were shown in recent research studies. Now over to Ina to talk about assessment and feedback.
Now we are coming to the part that how digital technology impacts the assessment and feedback of higher education. Here are some advantages. Firstly, the use of digital technology could reduce the workload of educators and enhance their efficiency. Educators could use educational platforms such as Socrative, Kahoot, and Edmodo to increase student engagement, by sharing interactive lessons and viewing student responses in real time. These online materials can be saved in the system, therefore educators could reuse their assessment materials several times. In addition, many of these platforms are not limited by any textbooks and do not require complicated setup procedures and extensive setup time. This range of benefits for educators lead to more targeted and effective assessment and feedback. These digital technologies are also beneficial for university students. Since handwritten feedback has been replaced by online feedback, the readability has been improved. Students can revisit their work without worrying that they have lost it. For example, the use of Moodle could help students better organize the whole module because it has all the required information. Another advantage is that the online assessment and feedback are not limited by time and location, allowing the students to be less mobile and be able to complete multiple tasks at the same time. During the lockdown, these two benefits help students conduct online learning. Now I will hand it over to Faye to talk about the disadvantages.
Well, I cannot deny the point you mentioned about the real-time feedback because nowadays the technology does help teachers or professors to view grading result and assessment performance more easily. In the teacher access page, they could easily convert the math result into graphs such as bar charts and histogram tables. However, it should only apply to multiple choice and true-false question as numerical result. Qualitative results such as short essay-based questions will be comparatively more difficult to be graded automatically, even more to smaller classes. The opportunity cost of being time-consuming to design and develop assessment might outweigh the benefits it brings. Thus, we can conclude that the advanced development in online study is more useful to the bigger classes compared to the smaller. With the development of a virtual learning environment, we usually call that VLE. Students are much easier to accept their feedback in real time. However, they still lack face-to-face discussion, which can lead to difficulties in the interpretation and implementation of feedback, since there is no immediate opportunity for clarification. Furthermore, students' understanding and uses of feedback may differ, implying a strategy that limits discussion opportunity. Because students may be obtaining their feedback at a time when staff are not immediately reachable, there might be delays in the explanation process, especially given the benefits of remote access to feedback. The lack of link with the online marker might have negative consequences, such as depersonalization and diminished self-regulated learning, which can obstruct the interpretation. Now I'm gonna hand it back to Amir.
The future of higher education has a lot of potential to bring significant changes that would vastly impact the way our education system works. With the coming of the fourth industrial revolution, the development of advanced and complex tech will improve vastly in the next 10 years. Technologies such as AI and VR being more widely available will allow for more immersive teaching environments. Studying at home will become more optimal, especially with a more flexible time schedule where students and teachers can work at their own pace. However, we cannot ignore the potential negative effects that the digitalization of higher education can bring. Even the most advanced AI cannot flexibly develop and build a personal connection for a student like a real teacher could. The lack of individual and personalized teaching, especially with more of a free schedule, could hinder and diminish a student's education if they're easily distracted and lack self-discipline. But what does any of it actually mean? If implemented gradually and in the correct manner, the integration and digitalization of our higher education could bring benefits that will outweigh the drawbacks, raising a generation that could utilize the new technology efficiently in both their studies and everyday lives. The education system we currently know will change significantly and bring about a new age in how higher education will be delivered and taught. That brings us to the end of our presentation, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for listening.